How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Or do you defy it?
And the flying leap from May.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
브렉시트 때문에 두려워만 하고 갈 생각도 안 했는데요. 가보니 너무나 많은 기회가 오히려 오픈되어져 있는 마인드로 기다리고 있더라.
스타트업의 친화적인 정책을 운영하고 있기 때문에 국적과 관계없이 국가 프로젝트나 보조금 지원 자격을 부여하고 있는데
법 제도적으로 이렇게 뒷받침되어 있지 않으면 불가능한 거거든요. 그 분야에서도 많은 이렇게 지원과 기회가 있구나.
영국은 유럽 마켓의 리더로 널리 알려져 있는 곳인데 우수한 AI 전문 인력을 확보하기가 용이했고 방대한 글로벌 네트워크를 활용해서 독일, 프랑스 등의 유럽 주요 국가로 진출할 수 있는 기회 또한 많을 것으로 판단했습니다.
영국에서 미팅을 하면 당연히 영국 시장 얘기를 하는데요. 바로 이어서 유럽, 그 다음에 영어를 쓰는 모든 국가, 아시아, 중동, 심지어 남아메리카까지 고려한 구조를 설계하는 거예요. 모든 미팅에서. 거기서 완전히 다른 걸 느꼈죠. 이게 글로벌 비즈니스를 할 수 있는 휘구나, 그렇게 생각합니다.
DIT로부터
시장 진출을 적극적으로 지원받고 있습니다.
A부터 Z까지 모든 지원을 받았어요.
매우 퀄리티 높은 세밀한 시장 조사 보고서와 많은 도움이 되었습니다.
DIT 내부의 전문가를 통해서 영국 시장 진출에 대한 전반적인 조언을 받을 수 있었고
영국의 로열 패밀리, 정치인,
다양한 포텐셜 파트너와 투자사와의 네트워킹이 가능했고
계속 파트너십 연결, 또 다른 정부 프로그램의 연결, 세무적인 파트너십 연결을 계속 이어서 짧은 기간 동안에 빨리 끝낼 수 있게 너무나 많은 도움을 받았습니다. 직접 들어가 안에 있으면 그 기회가 빨리, 그것 또한 멀지 않은 근처에서 보이더라. 영국이 그런 나라였습니다.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Or do you defy it?
And the flying leap from May.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
브렉시트 때문에 두려워만 하고 갈 생각도 안 했는데요. 가보니 너무나 많은 기회가 오히려 오픈되어져 있는 마인드로 기다리고 있더라.
스타트업의 친화적인 정책을 운영하고 있기 때문에 국적과 관계없이 국가 프로젝트나 보조금 지원 자격을 부여하고 있는데
법 제도적으로 이렇게 뒷받침되어 있지 않으면 불가능한 거거든요. 그 분야에서도 많은 이렇게 지원과 기회가 있구나.
영국은 유럽 마켓의 리더로 널리 알려져 있는 곳인데 우수한 AI 전문 인력을 확보하기가 용이했고 방대한 글로벌 네트워크를 활용해서 독일, 프랑스 등의 유럽 주요 국가로 진출할 수 있는 기회 또한 많을 것으로 판단했습니다.
영국에서 미팅을 하면 당연히 영국 시장 얘기를 하는데요. 바로 이어서 유럽, 그 다음에 영어를 쓰는 모든 국가, 아시아, 중동, 심지어 남아메리카까지 고려한 구조를 설계하는 거예요. 모든 미팅에서. 거기서 완전히 다른 걸 느꼈죠. 이게 글로벌 비즈니스를 할 수 있는 퀴구나. 그렇게 생각합니다.
DIT로부터
시장 진출을 적극적으로 지원받고 있습니다.
A부터 Z까지 모든 지원을 받았어요.
매우 퀄리티 높은 세밀한 시장 조사 보고서와 많은 도움이 되었습니다.
DIT 내부의 전문가를 통해서 영국 시장 진출에 대한 전반적인 조언을 받을 수 있었고,
영국의 로열 패밀리, 정치인,
다양한 포텐셜 파트너와 투자사와의 네트워킹이 가능했고,
계속 파트너십 연결, 또 다른 정부 프로그램의 연결, 세무적인 파트너십 연결을 계속 이어서 짧은 기간 동안에 빨리 끝낼 수 있게 너무나 많은 도움을 받았어요. 직접 들어가 안에 있으면 그 기회가 빨리, 그것도 아주 멀지 않은 근처에서 보이더라. 영국이 그런 나라였습니다.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Would you defy it?
And the flying leap from May.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
잠시 후 주한영국대사관 국제통상부와 은행권창업재단 디캠프가 주최하는 AI in the UK Opportunities for Korean Startup 행사가 시작될 예정입니다. 오늘 17일 하루 동안 개최되는 이번 AI in the UK는 디캠프를 통해 사전에 선발된 Dev Unlimit, Business Canvas, 데이터비, 프로메리우스, 클리카, 누지 총 6개 대스타트업과 함께 진행됩니다. 주한영국대사관과 디캠프에서는 본 웨비나를 통해 한국 AI 산업 동향과 DIT 지원 사항 및 사례를 소개하고 한국 스타트업을 위한 투자 기회, 영국 진출을 위한 신청 가능한 비자 안내 및 네트워크 정보를 공유할 예정입니다. 또한 웨비나 이후 요청에 따라 개별 상담, 현지 네트워크 및 프로그램 연결 등 후속 연계 지원을 통해 향후 영국 진출의 초석을 다지는 기회를 마련하고자 합니다. 본 행사는 코로나19 확산에 따른 비대면 온라인 웨비나로 행사가 진행됩니다. 세션이 끝난 후에는 사전에 전달 주신 질문과 라이브 Q&A를 통해 질의응답 시간을 갖고자 하오니 많은 참여 부탁드립니다. 그럼 잠시 후 본 행사를 시작하겠습니다.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Would you defy it?
And the flying leap from May.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
브렉시트 때문에 두려워만 하고 갈 생각도 안 했는데요. 가보니 너무나 많은 기회가 오히려 오픈되어져 있는 마인드로 기다리고 있더라.
스타트업의 친화적인 정책을 운영하고 있기 때문에 국적과 관계없이 국가 프로젝트나 보조금 지원 자격을 부여하고 있는데
법 제도적으로 이렇게 뒷받침되어 있지 않으면 불가능한 거거든요. 그 분야에서도 많은 이렇게 지원과 기회가 있구나.
영국은 유럽 마켓의 리더로 널리 알려져 있는 곳인데 우수한 AI 전문 인력을 확보하기가 용이했고 방대한 글로벌 네트워크를 활용해서 독일, 프랑스 등의 유럽 주요 국가로 진출할 수 있는 기회 또한 많을 것으로 판단했습니다.
영국에서 미팅을 하면 당연히 영국 시장 얘기를 하는데요. 바로 이어서 유럽.
Hello, Mr. Trias. Can you hear me?
Hiya. Yeah, can you hear you just fine?
Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time. We'll immediately run through a really quick technical rehearsal to see if your PPT will work. So if you have your slide decks ready, can you briefly hit the shared screen function?
Yes, just give me a second. Just give me a second to shut down a few windows. Okay.
Cool. And then can you briefly just see if you can move to the next slide and back to the beginning with
Yes.
your arrow keys? Cool. Thank you. So, yep, we can see that it's working. Thank you for having a microphone or a designated headset. I think the angle's fine, lighting's fine. You will be the last session, but right after you, there will be a live Q&A, so please stick around. The entire webinar should be less than 2 hours, starting at 7 o'clock UK time. So just please be patient, and we'll start very soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Would you defy it?
And the flying leap from May.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
브렉시트 때문에 두려워만 하고 갈 생각도 안 했는데요. 가보니 너무나 많은 기회가 오히려 오픈되어져 있는 마인드로 기다리고 있더라.
스타트업의 친화적인 정책을 운영하고 있기 때문에 국적과 관계없이 국가 프로젝트나 보조금 지원 자격을 부여하고 있는데
법 제도적으로 이렇게 뒷받침되어 있지 않으면 불가능한 거거든요. 그 분야에서도 많은 이렇게 지원과 기회가 있구나.
영국은 유럽 마켓의 리더로 널리 알려져 있는 곳인데 우수한 AI 전문 인력을 확보하기가 용이했고 방대한 글로벌 네트워크를 활용해서 독일, 프랑스 등의 유럽 주요 국가로 진출할 수 있는 기회 또한 많을 것으로 판단했습니다.
영국에서 미팅을 하면 당연히 영국 시장 얘기를 하는데요. 바로 이어서 유럽, 그 다음에 영어를 쓰는 모든 국가, 아시아, 중동, 심지어 남아메리카까지 고려한 구조를 설계하는 거예요. 모든 미팅에서 거기서 완전히 다른 걸 느꼈죠. 이게 글로벌 비즈니스를 할 수 있는 퀴구나 그렇게 생각합니다.
DIT로부터
시장 진출을 적극적으로 지원받고 있습니다.
A부터 Z까지 모든 지원을 받았어요.
매우 퀄리티 높은 세밀한 시장 조사 보고서와 많은 도움이 되었습니다.
DIT 내부의 전문가를 통해서 영국 시장 진출에 대한 전반적인 조언을 받을 수 있었고
영국의 로열 패밀리, 정치인,
다양한 포텐셜 파트너와 투자사와의 네트워킹이 가능했고
계속 파트너십 연결, 또 다른 정부 프로그램의 연결, 세무적인 파트너십 연결을 계속 이어서 짧은 기간 동안에 빨리 끝낼 수 있게 너무나 많은 도움이 됩니다. 직접 들어가 안에 있으면 그 기회가 빨리, 그것도 아주 멀지 않은 근처에서 보이더라. 영국이 그런 나라였습니다.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Would you defy it?
And the flying leap from May.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
참가자분들 마이크 테스트 하겠습니다. 먼저 디번 리밋 마이크 켜시고 말씀 한번 부탁드립니다. 디번 리밋 아무도 안 계신가요? 다음 비즈니스 캔버스 혹시 들리시면 마이크 한번 켜고 말씀 부탁드립니다.
네, 잘 들리시나요?
네, 감사합니다. 다음은 데이터비 안 계시면 프로메디어스 마이크 한번 켜시고 말씀 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요.
네,
프로메디어스입니다.
감사합니다. 다음 마이너 들리시면 마이크 켜고 말씀 부탁드립니다. 마이너. 그러면 다음 클리카 들리시면 말씀 한번 부탁드립니다.
네, 잘 들립니다.
네, 감사합니다. 대번님이 혹시 들리시면 말씀 한번 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요.
네, 감사합니다.
네, 모든 기업 참가자 여러분들께서는 기업 소개가 끝나기 전까지 모두 마이크 음소거 해제해 주시고요. 각 기업 소개가 끝나면 이제 마이크 음소거 부탁드리겠습니다. 원활한 진행을 위해서 웨비나 도중에 마이크로 발언은 불가능하시고 불편사항이 있으시면 채팅창에 남겨주시면 답변 드리도록 하겠습니다. 또 본 행사는 한영 동시통역으로 진행됩니다. 줌 화면 하단에 지구본 모양의 아이콘을 클릭하셔서 한국어 모드를 선택하시면 전체 세션을 한국어로 들으실 수 있습니다. 찬혁팍으로 들어오신 분 혹시 기업명이 어떻게 되실까요?
저 누지입니다. 이름을 좀 바꾸도록 하겠습니다.
네네, 감사합니다.
네.
네, 지금부터 마이크 음소거 전부 해제해 주시고요. 각 기업 소개 끝나면 그때 마이크 바로 음소거 해주시면 됩니다.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Or do you defy it?
And a flying leap from me.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
잠시 후 AI in the UK Opportunities for Korean Startup이 시작될 예정입니다. 본 웨비나는 오늘 17일 하루 동안 진행되는 행사입니다. 잠시 후 4시부터 오프닝을 시작으로 디캠프를 통해 사전에 선발된 데번 리밋, 비즈니스 캔버스, 데이터비, 프로메리우스, 마이너, 클리카, 누지 총 7개 스타트업의 간단한 소개가 이어질 예정입니다. 소개가 끝난 이후에는 Artificial Intelligence in the UK, Opportunities for Korean Companies를 주제로 DIT 테크놀로지 섹터 스페셜리스트인 닥터 크리스 무어님의 연사 발표와 Helping Investors in the UK, DIT Investment Services 팀을 주제로 Investment Services 팀 프로젝트 매니저인 지동님의 발표 세션이 4시 반까지 진행될 예정입니다. 이어지는 두 번째 세션으로는 Fortunes Capital의 CEO인 Sir Andrew Ross가 Fortunes Capital에 대해 소개하고 세 번째 세션에서는 테크네이션의 인터내셔널 스테이크홀더 리드인 샘 디브가 테크네이션 Tapping into the UK Tech을 주제로 기술 분야 취창업 비자에 대한 자세한 소개를 진행할 예정입니다. 마지막으로 이노베 UK의 AI 이노베이션 리드인 찰스 키코폴러스님의 발표가 있을 예정이오니 귀 기울여 주시길 바랍니다. 모든 세션이 끝난 후에는 사전에 전달해 주신 질문과 라이브 Q&A를 통해 질의응답 시간을 갖고자 하오니 많은 참여 부탁드립니다. AI in the UK에 참석해 주신 여러분께 다시 한번 감사드리며 잠시 후 본행사를 시작하겠습니다.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Or do you defy it?
And a flying leap from me.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
네, 그럼 바로 AI in the UK를 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 본 행사는 한영 동시통역으로 진행됩니다. 줌 화면 하단에 지구본 모양의 아이콘을 클릭하셔서 한국어 모드를 선택하시면 전체 세션을 한국어로 들으실 수 있습니다. 여러분 안녕하십니까? AI in the UK Opportunities for Korean Startup의 사회를 맡은 주한영국대사관 이은정 상무관,
네, 은행권청년창업재단 디캠프 전하은입니다.
오늘 귀한 시간을 내셔서 웨비나에 함께해 주신 여러분께 먼저 깊은 감사의 인사말을 드립니다. 오늘 17일 오후 4시부터 6시까지 진행되는 AI in the UK는 영국 AI 산업 동향과 DIT 지원 사항 및 사례를 소개하고 한국 스타트업을 위한 투자 기회, 영국 진출을 위한 신청 가능한 비자 안내 및 네트워크 정보를 공유하고자 마련된 웨비나입니다. 행사 이후 요청에 따라 저희가 개별 상담, 현지 네트워크 및 프로그램 연결 등 후속 연계 지원을 통해 향후 영국 진출에 초석을 다지는 기회를 마련하고자 합니다. 이번 AI in the UK가 AI 관련 스타트업 관계자 여러분들의 영국 진출 마련에 도움이 되기를 희망합니다. 그럼 본 웨비나의 오늘 프로그램 순서에 대해 간략히 말씀드리겠습니다. 이번 웨비나에 참여하는 7개 스타트업의 간단한 소개와 DIT, Fortunes Capital, Technation, Innovate UK 발표 세션이 차례대로 이어질 예정입니다. 모든 세션이 끝난 후에는 사전에 준비된 질문과 라이브 Q&A 시간을 갖고자 하니 많은 참여 부탁드립니다. 모든 참석자 분들께서는 카메라를 켜주신 상태로 참여해 주시길 부탁드리며 웨비나 도중에 마이크 사용은 불가함을 알려드립니다. 이제 참여 기업들의 소개를 시작으로 AI in the UK의 문을 열어보겠습니다.
네, 그럼 오늘의 참가팀을 먼저 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 행사는 저희 디캠프가 사전 선발한 7개 스타트업과 함께합니다. 호명 시 기업별 자기소개를 간략히 부탁드리겠습니다. 소개를 마치신 후에는 마이크 오프 꼭 확인 부탁드립니다. 그럼 먼저 대부원님이 간단히 소개 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 영어로 소개하겠습니다. Hi, my name is Jesus, and I'm the Global Marketing Manager at Devon Limit. Our company's main mission is to improve the home training experience through AI technology. Through gamification, we're able to accomplish this by making creators' workouts into a game in which their users can enjoy. Fitness and dance creators' engagement rates are decreasing, and we notice that users also have a lack of motivation when it comes to working out. Our solution is that through Sparky TV, our platform that we believe that working out for fun as a game can help remotivate users when it comes to fitness while also increasing creators' engagement rate. Thank you.
네, 소개 감사합니다. 네, 그럼 다음으로 비즈니스 캔버스 소개 부탁드립니다.
Hello, everyone. My name is Clint Yu. I am the co-founder and head of global business at Business Canvas. It's an honor to be here. At Business Canvas, we're building Typed, which is a software as a service product, and it is a knowledge sharing tool that reinvents and redesigns how people process digital knowledge through machine learning. We are one of the fastest growing SaaS companies from Korea around the world. We have about 150 countries utilizing the product at the moment, and you can check it out at type.do. Thank you.
네, 소개 감사합니다. 저희 지금 동시통역이 제공되고 있기 때문에 국문과 영문 중 편하신 언어로 소개 부탁드리겠습니다. 다음으로 데이터비 소개 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 전 주식회사 데이터비 대표 오승현이라고 합니다. 저희는 영문을
영어 문장을 입력을 하면 AI가 문법 오류나 부자연스러운 영어 표현을 교정해서 더 자연스러운 영어 표현을 제안해주는 서비스입니다. 작년 10월에 저희 정식 서비스를 런칭했고요. 계속해서 서비스를 개선해 나가고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 소개 감사드립니다. 다음으로 프로메디우스 소개 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 저희는 의료 AI 스타트업 프로메디의 대표 배현진입니다. 저희는 인공지능 기술로 전 세계에서 겪고 있는 의료 불평등 문제를 해소하기 위해서 클라우드 기반의 의료 영상 AI 플랫폼 에이전트를 개발하고 있습니다. 이번 행사를 통해서 영국과 영국 시장에 대해서 더욱 잘 이해하여 영국 시장에 진출할 수 있는 기회가 되기를 바라겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 네, 다음으로 마이너 소개 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 데이터 테크 스타트업 주식회사 마이너 대표 홍건표라고 하고요. 저희는 인공지능을 기반으로 스크린샷을 분석하고 유저가 직접 생성한 스크린샷을 편하게 활용할 수 있도록 하는 솔루션 생태계를 개발하고 출시하였습니다. 네, 영어권 유저들, 특히나 영어권 Z세대 유저들의 실제로 스크린샷을 활용하는 방향도 궁금하고 이 서비스가 해외로 진출했을 때 유저들이 어떤 식으로 활용하는지 궁금해서 이번 세션에 참석을 하게 됐고요. 좀 많이 배워가는 시간이 될 수 있기를 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 다음 클리카 소개 부탁드립니다.
Hi everyone, my name is Nayul. I'm CEO at Klika. We are MLOps company specialized for TinyML. TinyML is abbreviation for Tiny Machine Learning. So what we do is we provide end-to-end solution connecting from big data, big model, and we make it tiny so that it can run everywhere. Server, cloud would reduce the cloud cost, cloud usage cost by up to 80%. And when it's run on embedded system and edge device, it would run smoothly because we would compress it by 90%. Without compromising its speed and accuracy. Thank you. Oh, this is Ben, our CTO from Israel. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 마지막으로 누지 소개 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 바른 자세, 바른 건강을 지켜주는 헬스케어 브랜드 누지입니다. 지금 21세기는 인류 역사상 경험하지 못한 사회적 이슈로 좀 어려움을 많이 겪고 있는데요. 특히 앉아서 오랫동안 생활하다 보니까 이 경척추 질환에 많이 노출되어 있습니다. 그중 영국은 이제 유럽에서 가장 많은 경척추 질환자를 갖고 있는데요. 저희는 특허 등록되어 있는 이런 2분할 등판과 4분할 좌판으로 사람들이 바른 자세를 유지하고 또 편안하게 앉을 수 있는 그런 자세 교정 의자입니다. 그런데 아무래도 나쁜 습관으로 오랫동안 앉아있는 분들은 스스로 교정하기가 어렵다 보니까 이 AI 알고리즘을 통해서 어떻게 하면 개인별로 자세를 고쳐나갈 수 있을지 그런 시스템을 만들고자 하고 있습니다. 그래서 저희의 최종 목표는 26년부터 이제 디지털 치료제를 진행해가지고 모든 사람들이 건강하게 앉을 수 있는 그런 서비스를 만들고자 합니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 이렇게 참가자 7개 소개를 모두 들어보았고요. 마지막으로 그 디캠프 어드바이저로 참여해주신 정재훈 상무님 간략하게 소개 한번 부탁드립니다.
Hello everyone, this is Jerry, and actually I just came to Singapore 2 days ago, and then I came in from Singapore at home. I have to clean up everything over here, but it's very honored to see all the best and then really potentially growing and then maybe exploding in the world, starting from Korea and then also stopping by UK. I hope I can help anything. Some companies wants to be connected and then advised, whatever it is, I'll try to do my best. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 이렇게 참가자 소개를 모두 마치겠습니다. 바쁘신 중에도 시간 내주셔서 오늘 참석해주신 모든 분들께 다시 한번 감사 인사드립니다.
본 행사는 한역 동시 통역으로 진행됩니다. 줌 하단의 지구본 모양의 아이콘을 클릭하셔서 한국어 모드를 선택하시면 전체 세션을 한국어로 들으실 수 있습니다. 그럼 이제 본격적으로 AI in the UK의 문을 열어보겠습니다. 저희 DIT는 대형 무역 촉진 및 외국 기업의 영국 투자 유치를 지원하는 정부 부처로서 한국 기업의 수출 지향적 무역 전략을 제공하고 외국 기업의 영국 투자 유치에 대한 다양한 지원 업무를 진행하고 있습니다. 첫 번째 세션은 이번 행사를 주최한 영국 DIT 소속 연사님들의 세션입니다. Artificial Intelligence in the UK, Opportunities for Korean Companies를 주제로 DIT Technology Sector Specialist인 Dr. Chris Moore 연사님이 첫 번째로 발표를 해주실 예정이며 이후 Investment Services Team Project Manager인 지동 연사님이 Helping Investors in the UK, DIT Investment Services Team이라는 주제로 발표를 해주실 예정입니다. 그럼 먼저 Dr. Chris Moore님을 모셔보도록 하겠습니다.
Good afternoon. Thank you to everybody for having this opportunity to speak to you. My name is Chris Moore. I'm a technology specialist working for the Department for International Trade. And in that role, I support companies that are looking to set up it for the first time in the UK, or if they're already here, to expand their existing business. I hope that everybody can see the presentation. What I'm going to do is to talk a little bit about the UK AI environment. But before I get to that, I just wanted to say that Korea is a familiar market to me. I have been to Korea several times and have supported a number of early stage companies from Korea. So if we think about artificial intelligence, the market opportunity is very significant. I think we are all familiar with the fact that AI has been used in some sectors for some time. So, for instance, in financial services and in healthcare. But in some research that we carried out last year, it was very clear that AI is being used in many, many sectors, from construction through to food and drink, through to sports economy and manufacturing. So it is everywhere there, and all sectors are going to be impacted by artificial intelligence. If we look at the UK in a bit more detail, it's very clear from this study done by Accenture that there will be a significant impact on the UK economy. But the UK is a very attractive place for early stage companies. There are more than 1,300 AI companies, which means that there is a lot of support and a lot of opportunity for Korean companies to come to the UK. One of the reasons that early stage companies are attracted to the UK is the VC funding environment. In the UK last year, there was $39.8 billion worth of investment in the VC sector. That's not all for AI, but a very significant percentage is for AI, as you can see from this data on the slide. In the UK, we have many key clusters for artificial intelligence. I've indicated some of the cities here, and I would particularly draw your attention to the city of Leeds, which has announced a new initiative to support AI and data science companies to come and set up. Also, the UK, as we'll hear later, has invested a lot of money in supporting AI companies. So close to £1 billion was announced in a sector deal delivered in 2018. And last year, there was a national AI strategy that was published, which talks about driving the greater adoption of AI and also supporting the creation of more talent in this area. But I wanted to pause and ask the question, so how does the UK compare with other markets, so particularly with other markets in Europe? And you can see from this global AI index, which was published by Tortoise, they publish this every year, that the UK is number 3 after the US and China. South Korea is number 5. And all of the other European markets, France, Germany, Israel, for instance, are further down the list. So you can tell that there is something special about the UK market for AI. Now, as an early stage company coming to the UK, you will be very interested in to know the support. And we will hear a lot more detail from TechNation later on, but just to highlight that they have a program on applied AI, which supports companies across many different application spaces in AI, and they run a number of programs to support scale up. In addition, there are other support mechanisms from the private sector. So for instance, seed funds and dedicated accelerators that support AI and data science. So Entrepreneur First, which is in London, and the Bayes Centre, which is in Edinburgh. Now, you will hear later from my colleague Trias about the ways that UK Research and Innovation, which is the key funding agency for technology development and R&D in the UK, how they support AI. But in any case, just to give you a flavor from this National Challenge Fund, there are several different themes, but one of the main themes is dedicated to AI and the data economy. But even in the other three overarching themes in healthy aging, mobility, and clean growth and sustainability, there are many programs and funding opportunities that support companies working in AI. And as I listened to the great introductions from the DCAMP companies, I think that most of your interests will map onto some of these funding opportunities. Everything from next generation services, looking at applying AI to areas like financial services, through to looking at manufacturing and healthcare. One of the key assets in the UK for AI is the National Institute for Data Science and AI, the Alan Turing Institute. This has been set up to really focus on collaboration and R&D. They work with 13 separate universities in the UK, and they have strategic partnerships with many companies. There's not sufficient space to show them all. Here are some of the key ones that you may recognize, but they have other strategic relationships with perhaps another 30 or 40 other companies, and therefore is a good first point of reference for anybody who's interested in R&D in AI. Also on research, as part of that investment I mentioned earlier, there are 16 separate centers for doctoral training in AI in the UK. These are university PhD level institutes that focus on different areas. And you can see in the slide, there's a very strong emphasis on healthcare, but also looking at areas like speech and language, which again, I know is of interest to some of the companies today. There are other mechanisms to help you find routes to market, find collaboration opportunities. The UK has a network of Catapult Centers. These are innovation centers that are designed to help accelerate products and services to market. And in AI, the digital Catapult has a machine intelligence garage, which helps companies to adopt AI. And in Scotland, the Data Lab, which is supported by the Scottish government within the UK, also focuses on data science and AI, particularly for industrial collaboration. There are many groups that support AI in the UK, and as part of the ongoing discussions that we will have with the DCAMP companies is trying to help you find the right organization to support you. I already talked about some of the collaborating possibilities through the Catapult, the Turing Institute, and the Bayes Centre, but there are communities such as Cognition X, which is the biggest community for AI in the UK, and Tech UK, which is the UK's tech sector trade association. But also, if you're looking at attracting skills and the right talent, there are other groups like the Institute of Coding and Faculty, which runs a fellowship program. And we can provide a lot more detail about these organizations, and the links to all of these organizations will be in the slide pack that you will receive after today's event. And a couple of final words, firstly on ethics. The development of appropriate and ethical AI is a primary priority for the UK. we have a number of organizations, which are illustrated here, that focus on helping companies and organizations to develop AI that is appropriate for use. And therefore, the UK is we believe, a good place for developing appropriate and ethical AI. And I think finally, of course, as an early stage company, you will be interested in funding. The UK, as I mentioned earlier, is a great location for finding the next funding round. We have all of the routes you would expect: business angels, VCs, corporates, etc. But also many resources to help. And you'll hear from TechNation later. You'll hear from UKRI, Innovate UK later. But just to say that all of these different options can be accessed with the support of DIT. And I draw your attention to some free resources from the British Business Bank and also Bowhurst, which gives you lists of some of the most effective and most successful venture capital firms in the UK. And finally, if you are interested in coming to the UK to take a look, you may want to tie your visit in to a key UK trade show in AI. And I would particularly highlight CogX and London Tech Week, which I think this year actually will both be in June. And those are two events to, one, get an understanding of how the tech ecosystem works in the UK, and also to see some of the best opportunities available for AI. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to talk to you during the follow-up Q&A session. Thank you very much.
네, 발표 잘 들었습니다. 닥터 크리스 무어 연사님께서는 영국 AI 산업과 생태계에 대해서 소개해 주셨습니다. 좋은 말씀 감사합니다. 이어 DIT Investment Services Team 프로젝트 매니저인 지동 연사님을 바로 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. Morning, Ji.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, my name is Ji Dong. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, great. Yeah, my name is Ji. I'm the project manager for technology industries in DIT. It's really kind of a great pleasure for me to be here today to talk about how UK government can provide the hands-on support to the international investors like yourself. Okay, so I will share the slides. Hope you can see the slides now. Just a very quick kind of introduction to the department. So DIT, Department for International Trade, is a UK government organization. So has a remit to support foreign companies, investors who want to set up or expand in the UK. It also helps the UK-based companies to trade internationally. So DIT is a very professional team. So we provide professional assistance and very bespoke services to the companies we work with. And the company, we work with a large amount of companies, and they're ranging from startups, SMEs, up to the multinational corporations. It doesn't matter what type of company and at what stage, and we can deliver very bespoke service, and we work through a global network. Earlier, my colleague Chris just gave you a brief overview about the AI landscape and highlight why you should invest in the UK. Here, I just want to give you very kind of a general benefit when you think about investing in the UK. So here in the UK, the general kind of business environment is very established, mature, and flexible, favorable for business investors. And we have, particularly, we have very internationally competitive tax offer, which is really welcomed by the investors. Here also in the UK, as you can have a flavor from Chris' presentation, it's really kind of a good environment for innovation and R&D activities. The infrastructure is very kind of established. Again, this is also backed up by a large, very talented, highly skilled workforce. So for technology companies, it's very important and to easily access to the talented skills they require. The general kind of infrastructure for technologies is really kind of well established in the UK. The digital and the physical infrastructures is very advanced and well developed here in the market. And again, UK has a very strategic, very kind of ideal location. A lot of investors and companies choose UK as one of their international kind of footprint because it has easy access to the rest of the world. Within the IT, we have a dedicated team called Investment Service Team, IST, which I belong to. This is a kind of a team. We have the responsibility and the remit to provide an end-to-end service to the potential or existing investors in the UK. So we work alongside the investors from the very beginning of their journey when they think about the UK market. And we work along with them and during the whole project process until the setup in the UK. We still keep an ongoing relationship and trying to help them to grow. As a government organization, we are different from commercial consulting firms, consulting companies. We are not doing business development on behalf of the client, but we can signpost the companies, the investors to the right information, right contact. We can provide some guidance and on the regulations, on the policies in the UK. And also we can facilitate a lot of activities which is relevant to the company, to the investors. Here is a very simple kind of illustration about what service we can provide. Although I should mention that we don't have a set kind of a package for the service we can provide for the investor. Every single kind of a project is different. So we provide bespoke service. But here, just a kind of a simple view about what type of service we can offer. Some of the service we can offer by ourselves, by ST or internal team. Some can be offered by the wider DIT or partners. And we help the company to understand the market, to identify the location. So we can also help the company to produce some marketing research to specific subsectors, for example. And we help the company kind of explore the different locations within UK and introduce them to the right people in the right network. Through the wider DIT network or commercial partners, you can also access to very professional tax advice, visa, immigration kind of advice, for example, and then R&D support, as well as kind of fundraising, capital kind of investment opportunities, etc. Here are some kind of very frequently used services by the international companies. For example, so we can advise on how to set up in the UK, how to incorporate business identities in the UK, the process, and what's the kind of procedure. And also we can even help the company to find the right location, right premises. Through our partners, we can help you to view the office offer, the different kind of locations, hot desking offer, or maybe leased office. So we have a people kind of guide you through each stage of your project. In most cases, and we work with some partners and to provide tax support, and they can help you to understand the tax regime and what's kind of your obligations and what's the kind of benefit. And for a lot of the tech companies, you can enjoy the R&D credit, which is really kind of welcomed by international companies. We can also provide a visa service, visa and the immigration advice, and there are solicitor firms who can help you work out the whole journey. As I mentioned, we do a lot of kind of bespoke research, market research, and proposals for our companies, for investors. This can help the company to make very informed decision when they come to the UK. This is just some example we produce on a daily basis for the investor. Here is a real life kind of a case study, just to give you kind of a whole picture how we work with the company. Many years ago, I have a client from Japan. It's also an AI company. And when they started their journey and they weren't well sure where to locate their business in the UK. So they were quite interested in London, North, West and Northeast. And then they came to us. So we worked together with them to conduct some market research to understand the market deeply and identify some locations with specific kind of clusters relevant for their project and services. And then we introduce them to the local team so they can get the further kind of local intelligence. At the same time, so we help the facilitate introduction to the network. For example, knowledge transfer networks and angel networks, and also some kind of access to finance teams. And again, we also invite them to a number of tech events in the UK for them to networking to build up their kind of network. And then after probably about 12 to 18 months, they finally decided to set up their first footprint in London. After the setup, the relationship kind of can continue. This is really ongoing relationship. So we kept kind of contact with them and provide update information, hopefully, and to help them to grow and expand. So after they settle down in the UK, through DIT, they get a kind of an introduction to angel networks to discuss the fundraising and also to the universities and the research institutions to support their R&D activities. So this is just a kind of a real life experience and to kind of give you a flavor of how you can work with DIT. I think the next step is really come to discuss with us, discuss with the team in Seoul and myself and Chris. So we would love to understand what's your business case and your strategy, and we will provide some kind of guidance and further support. Thank you very much.
네, 발표 잘 들었습니다. 지동 연사님께서는 영국 국제통상부와 지원 사항에 대해서 소개해 주셨습니다. 좋은 말씀 감사합니다.
네, 그러면 바로 이어서 두 번째 세션 진행해 보겠습니다. 두 번째 세션은 포추니스 캐피탈의 CEO이신 Sir Andrew Ross 연사님께서 자사 사업 소개와 또 투자 포커스에 대해서 소개해 주실 예정입니다. 포추니스 캐피탈은 런던에 거점을 두고 있는 글로벌 벤처 캐피탈로 기술 분야와 초기 투자에 집중하고 있습니다. 자체 인큐베이팅 프로그램을 통해 영국과 글로벌 스타트업의 영국 내 비즈니스를 지원하고 있습니다. 네, 그럼 연사님을 모셔보도록 할 텐데요. 연사님 잘 들리시나요?
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Well, thank you very much for that introduction, and just allow me to pop up my presentation. There we go. Hopefully you can all see that. A very good afternoon to you all. Thank you very much indeed for having us along to share in this gathering with those great startups in DCamp, and thank you also to Dr. Moore and the DIT. Very useful to see, because what I feel strongly is that there is a huge amount of alignment with what we're trying to do in Fortunis with this whole setup. Just a bit of flavor about who we are. I'll just take about 5 or 10 minutes just to explain who we are in Fortunis. But we are very much focused on impact. We're focused on very high-end ethical investments, things that really make a difference to the world in which we all live. We feel passionately that everything that we invest in should have a pretty direct line to one of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And the way we do that is we reduce the risk as small as possible. We have a different approach to most.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I don't think we can see your slide at the moment.
Okay, let me try
Could you
again.
please share your slide, please?
I do apologize. Let me try again.
No worries. Take your time.
Please tell me if you can see that. Can you see that slide?
Yeah, we do. We can.
Okay, my apologies. Sorry. This is why we rehearse, but sometimes things get through. I'm sorry about that if that didn't quite make it. The point there is, let me get rid of this. Sorry. Hopefully that's a bit more legible. Yes, so we have a very clear view on how we wish to reduce risk when we get engaged in VC investments. But the thing I really want to start with before we even get onto VC is two things. First of all, to follow on from the DIT presentations, is we are an official Home Office endorsing body, which means that we can be that point of contact for the DIT. We can arrange for the startup and innovator visa arrangements for you. We are passionate about the United Kingdom, and we're passionate about technology. And what we are seeking to do is to attract the very best ideas from around the world, get them into the United Kingdom, which you saw from Dr. Moore is a very lively and buzzing environment when it comes to technology build up, third in the world, to scale up and then to enjoy the benefits of being able to globalize thereafter. That is where we believe we can make our contribution. And so by attracting people in with the Home Office endorsing body status that we enjoy, that's where we can make a significant contribution. The second thing I want to talk about is our accelerator. We recognize that a lot of founders have these fantastic ideas, but they just aren't ready for investment. We believe this is an essential element of the whole VC journey. And what we offer is an accelerator which takes new startups through some of those critical early issues, holding their hand, helping them avoid the minefield, and walking them through to a position over, say, 3 or 6 months where they can be investment ready. And where we see genuine benefit and we really see close alignment with what we want to do in the VC portfolio, we may well invest ourselves. But more often than not, they will pass through our accelerator and out the other side to ideally other investors as well. So the accelerator is there as an offering. And as you can see, we can again help with visa applications in that regard. So then we think to ourselves, well, what is it that we actually do? We recognize that it is a rocky road for a new startup. And I'm sure all of you on the call will be quietly nodding to yourself, thinking, yes, this feels about right. The area to the left of the curve is a very dangerous place to be for a startup, and we recognize that. And what we do, which is slightly different to other VCs, is we get involved actively. We have a very, very hands-on approach to helping small numbers of startups, and that's why we can do it, because we focus on a few, and walking them through these hazardous early stages, getting them through the accelerator, ideally, or bringing them in at a slightly later stage where they are VC ready. And when they're in the VC bracket, if you will, then it's a case of scaling them up and getting them ready for further investment, whether that's from private equity or beyond. But that scaling up area is a really sweet spot, we feel, for investment. Now, why do we do things differently? We focus, I talked to you about focusing on helping these new startups. We don't throw mud at the wall and see what sticks. We focus on the few that we feel will really have the best chance of success. We are ruthless in our selection criteria. And what that means is, what we feel is through the combination of very, very precise selection, coupled with hands-on management, we believe we have higher chances of success when it comes to scaling up and growth. And that can be evidenced in our alignment with and our adherence to impact. We feel strongly that everything that we do, and again, it was a delight to see the DIT slides, so much of it to do with people, to do with health and wellness. We believe impact is where it's at. You will have heard many different descriptions about responsible investment or ESG. These phrases are not synonymous entirely. They relate to each other for sure, but they're not the same. What we believe here in Fortunis is that impact investment is really the effect. It's what comes out at the end. It's the impact that you have on society itself. So we feel really strongly that everything we invest in should be an impact investment, should really make a positive societal change. There are plenty of furniture shops and sandwich shops in the world. We don't need any more. What we're really focused on is where technology hits the road. And that's why it's such a delight to meet you all from the AI world, because technology is where it's at. And I'm sure you all agree, because that's why you're on this call. So we seek these technologies out, these disruptive, positively disruptive technologies in order to move society forward. And like we say, it's all about people. What do I mean by that? Well, people, it's all about how we build the teams, how we get the right ideas coming in from the right people. People growing these ideas, helping them grow it, and choosing the right investment partners that these people can go to and grow with and partner with, choosing the right business partners again, and the right exit partners. So as you can see, yes, there's commerce involved, but it's all about people. And it really starts with that first team. So some examples, very quickly, I'm just going to rattle through this just to paint a picture where you can see that we're focused on technology, and these range from fintech right the way through to green tech and femtech. These are things that, as you can see, when you pour acid over these, you can see that they really make a change to people's lives. These are things that help people make the right financial decisions in life. These are things that actually physically see acceleration in cell development, things that connect young people through sports and female wellness, contributing to people's mental wellness. And of course, a great positive one at the moment, which is the environmental issue, which is a green tech out there that helps deal with climate change. So why are these important? Are we a charity? No, we are not. There is money involved in this, and there is a growth potential here, which is staggering. And we go in for very modest amounts. As you can see, just ×2, ×5. These are valuations that have been verified by an independent third party. So there are great opportunities here in this space for growth, and we're passionate about growing tech for impact. Thank you very much indeed. I'd be very happy to continue the discussion afterwards, and certainly if there are any questions that I can't field today, I look forward to your emails. Thank you very much indeed.
네, 발표 잘 들었습니다. 네, 연사님께서는 포추니스 캐피탈의 회사와 또 사업 소개를 해주셨고, 또 투자 포커스에 대한 다양한 정보를 공유해 주셨습니다. 좋은 말씀 감사합니다.
네, 이어지는 세 번째 발표 세션은 테크네이션의 인터내셔널 스테이크홀더 리드인 샘 디브님이 준비하고 계시는데요. 발표를 통해 테크네이션의 소개 및 글로벌 탤런트 비자에 대해 자세히 소개해 주실 예정입니다. 테크네이션은 코칭, 커뮤니티, 네트워크 연결을 통해 기술 스타트업 발굴 및 육성을 지원하는 스케일업 전문 기관입니다. 영국 내무부가 공인한 글로벌 탤런트 비자 에이전시로서 기술 분야 취창업 비자를 관리하고 있습니다. 네, 그럼 이제 샘 디브 연사님을 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. Morning, Sam.
Morning. Thank you very much. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Great. Hi, everybody. My name's Sam. I'm in the international team at Tech Nation, and we're the growth platform for UK tech. I'm talking to you from London today, but we do have a team in Asia Pacific. Today, I'm going to showcase a little bit of the UK tech ecosystem, but most importantly, talk to you about the Tech Nation visa. So for many of you, I'm sure you know the UK as a hub of cream teas, the Queen, and perhaps a little bit of whiskey. but hopefully most of you on this call are also very aware that the UK is one of the world's tech leaders, and we've got a really strong ecosystem in producing new technologies. I wanted to just cover a few stats that show that fact today. So VC investment into UK tech is third globally, so that's only behind China and the US. The UK tech startup and scale up ecosystem is valued at $600 billion US plus. And it isn't all quantity over quality. The UK has recently joined the US and China as one of only 3 nations in the world to have created more than 100 tech unicorns. So those are private companies valued at $1 billion US. I want to just cover a little bit more about what Tech Nation does to help accelerate the UK tech ecosystem and produce some of these innovative companies. So as the UK growth platform, we provide founders, leaders, and scaling tech companies with the coaching, content, and community that they need to scale, both domestically and overseas. We've engaged with over 4,000 UK tech companies, and we've delivered over 37 program cohorts. And as Chris mentioned earlier, we have a program specifically on applied AI, and that is one of our focus areas. We've also processed more than 4,000 global tech, or 5,000 global tech visas applications for those looking to work in the UK. And that's what I would like to focus on a little bit more today. So let's go on to the next slide. The Tech Nation visa is officially known as the Global Talent Visa. As you no, it was previously called the Exceptional Talent Visa, and it was renamed in February this year. The Global Talent Visa enables the brightest and best talent from around the world, including in South Korea, to come and work in the UK's digital technology sector. And as the endorsing body for digital tech, Tech Nation provides endorsement for applications on behalf of the Home Office. So if an applicant is endorsed by Tech Nation, by us, then you can submit your application for a visa to the Home Office. There are 6 endorsing bodies that process the global talent applications for different sectors, but Tech Nation is the only one that processes applications for digital technology. There are 2 different application pathways. And they cater for applicants with different levels of experience. So the exceptional talent and exceptional promise. Exceptional talent, as you can see on the left, is for applicants with substantial experience in the digital technology sector. They're well established, have built up their career, provide lots of evidence to support their application, and typically they'll have more than 5 years experience in this field. Exceptional promise is for applicants who can demonstrate the potential to be an emerging leader. So they're often individuals who are at the start of their career in digital tech and therefore may not have the same levels of experience as someone who applies under the exceptional talent side of things. Postgrads will likely apply under the exceptional promise route due to obviously their experience. And you will need to demonstrate the potential to be a leader in digital tech through skills and achievements so far. So let's go on to the numbers. Looking at some of the statistics can give you a little bit more of an idea of scale. So since the visa began for Tech Nation in 2014, we've received a huge number of applications and endorsed over 2,500 of them across over 90 countries worldwide. We do process quite a high number of South Korean applicants, and South Korean applicants are known to have an extremely high endorsement rate. Just a little bit about the actual process. You can see it's two-stage. So the first stage is the endorsement, which takes up to 8 weeks. And then the second is the actual application stage, which takes up to 3 weeks. So it's a relatively good timeline for you. You can also see the fees there and exactly how it works. Just a few more headlines. There's no quotas on this, so we are completely uncapped and applications are always open. It gives you a relatively good amount of flexibility. You can change your job and you can start up on your own when you're here. Your immediate family can also come with you. We think also one of the most important things is that you can join our Visa alumni network and share your global talent skills with others and learn from others that have also used our visa process here in the UK. And also you'll get access to Technation programs and our growth platforms and support through Technation whilst you're here. There's one last part that I quite wanted to touch on. We have just started a brand new program called Thrive. We know that making the decision to relocate is a really big decision. And so we have produced a program that means that there will be support here for you to help build a comfortable professional life once you land. So it's an 8-week course. It's a practical cohort-based accelerator for international talent with the ambition to move to the UK. So at the moment, it's all delivered remotely ahead of the move through a series of masterclasses and deep dive group sessions with others that are in the same boat, but from all over the world. And we hope that will provide anybody moving to the UK with the right support and also most importantly, the right access into the UK tech community as they land here in the UK. So that's it from me today. More than happy to take questions. My email is not at the bottom of this. It is my colleague's, who is our visa lead. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us at any time. Thank you very much.
네, 발표 잘 들었습니다. 샘 딥 연사님께서는 영국의 테크 산업과 글로벌 탤런트 비자 소개, 지원 방법 및 절차에 대해서 말씀해 주셨습니다. 좋은 말씀 감사합니다.
네, 본 행사는 한영 동시 통역으로 진행되고 있습니다. 줌 화면 하단에 지구본 모양의 아이콘을 클릭하셔서 한국어 모드를 선택하시면 전체 세션을 한국어로 들으실 수 있습니다. 네, 어느새 마지막 4번째 세션만을 앞두고 있는데요. 이노베인 UK의 AI 이노베이션 리드인 트리어스 키코폴러스 연사님께서 이노베인 UK 기관 소개와 운영 프로그램 그리고 한국 기업들을 위한 기회에 대해 소개해 주실 예정입니다. 영국 정부의 혁신기관인 이노베인 UK는 영국 사업 에너지 산업전력부 산하기관으로 모든 산업과 기술 그리고 영국 지역의 비즈니스 주도 혁신을 이끌고 있는 기관입니다. 그럼 이제 온라인을 통해 연사님을 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 연사님 잘 들리시나요?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Perfect. It's almost 5, so good evening to my friends in Korea. My name is Trias, and I'm the innovation lead in AI and machine learning at Innovate UK. I've also been recently supporting robotics and AI. What I would like to do is to give you an introduction on Innovate UK and also give you some example of opportunities for funding and how we are supporting businesses to do research and development and develop new products with innovation. So UK Research and Innovation is a large organization, public funded, made up of discipline-specific research councils where they're funding basic academic research, as well as Research England and Innovate UK. Innovate UK is the UK's innovation agency,
where our mission is really to increase productivity and prosperity by supporting business-led growth. And we're doing that by providing different instruments to help UK businesses create new products and commercialize. One important thing that I would like to mention here is what we mean by UK businesses. And it's really what we do require is to have any business that has a footprint in the UK and it has registered offices so that it can you do contribute to the UK economy. So the head offices do not have to be in the UK, but there has to be some presence and contribution. Just to give you an example of how we have been doing this, since 2007, we have invested more than 4.6 billion in supporting different companies from small startups and SMEs to large organizations. And this has resulted in a stimulation of business R&D spending of approximately 7.5 billion. So during that time, we have funded more than 15,000 projects and supported more than 10,000 unique different organizations. And sometimes we have created a return of investment up to £7 for a single pound we have invested in those projects. This has been done through different instruments. So we have a number of different ways that we can support businesses. Sometimes this has come through a core program. We have also mission-specific challenges where we support and try to stimulate development of new products for priority areas of interest. For example, the net zero economy and the digital economy. Example of funds include R&D subsidized grant funding. We also have managed programs as well as a number of different catalysts and also international products as well. So we're supporting a different rates of R&D category. For example, fundamental research, feasibility studies, industrial research, and experimental development. It's important to know that at any one time, not all of those funding opportunities are available. And of course, AI and the data economy is a very big part and an important part of the themes we are trying to support. And I think as my colleague Chris mentioned earlier, AI and machine learning is not just a very important theme, but also underlies the development of all the different sectors and industries we are supporting, and also mission and challenges. I just want to give you an example of some opportunities that are currently open to UK registered AI SMEs. One of them is the Global Business Innovation Program, and we currently are developing a program to visit Germany and Canada. So this program is really trying to help ambitious businesses to collaborate and expand in new markets and accelerate the business growth. The way we do this is by providing a tailored and specific business advice to prepare for the new markets, a visit to the market where we take the companies we are supporting to this new market, and also providing specific support to explore the opportunity. So far, we have delivered more than 40 global business innovation programs. And over the last 4 years, we have supported more than 700 companies in key technology sectors. Previous missions have included an AI visit in the US, cybersecurity in Israel, but also advanced materials in Korea. The current key data applications are open till the end of April. And we're going to be visiting Canada and Germany later this autumn. Again, this opportunity is open for any AI companies registered in the UK. Another way we have the rolling competition called the Smart Grant Program. This is open to different application areas and also different technologies. And of course, AI is one part of this. Currently, we have the round that is open and is closing for applications on the 13th of April, 2022. The funding varies depending on the amount on the duration of the project, and also if it is delivered by a single company or if it is collaborative. So for projects between 6 to 8 months, there is 100,000 to 500,000 funding available. And for collaborative projects between 19 and 36 months, there's between 100,000 and 2 million available to deliver these R&D projects. And with the QR code, you can find a link to the page for the competition. Also, we currently have a specific UK to South Korea collaborative R&D program. This is available, and this is open. Applications are open until the 6th of July. Again, this is open to UK registered AI companies. But if you're not registered, you have presence in the UK yet, you can potentially also explore the opportunity through the Korean Institute for Advancement of Technology. On the QR code on the right, you find a link to the competition page that is available. And there are 3 priority areas for this collaborative UK to South Korea collaborative R&D. One of them is advanced manufacturing and materials. We have an area for priority that is clean energy, but also the other sector is artificial intelligence. So please do visit this competition page and explore this opportunity further. And with this, I would like to bring this presentation to an end. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 네, 연사님께서 이노베인 UK의 다양한 지원 사업에 대해서 잘 소개해 주셨습니다. 네, 그러면 이걸로 이제 쉐어링 세션은 마무리를 하겠습니다. 이어서 네, Q&A 세션이 진행될 텐데요.
네, 저희가 이제 4가지 발표 세션을 들으시면서 궁금한 점이 많으셨을 것 같은데요. 사전에 미리 받아본 질문을 통해 Q&A 세션을 먼저 진행하도록 하겠으며, 이후 남은 시간에는 또 팔로우업 퀘스천이나 현장 질문도 함께 받아보도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 연사진 분들 연결 확인 후 진행하도록 하겠습니다. Morning all, can you see us and can you hear us clearly? Great. So please ask any questions. 혹시 질문 있으시면은 먼저 말씀을 해주시면 좋을 것 같습니다. 저희가 대독을 하는 것보다는 그 직접 질문을 미리 사전에 주신 내용을 읽어주시거나 아니면은 발표를 해주시면은 조금 더 자유롭게 소통이 될 것 같아서 그렇게 진행을 해주시면 좋을 것 같습니다.
네, 클릭하 먼저 네, 마이크 켜시고 질문 주세요.
Hello, my name is Nail from Clika again. Well, one of the biggest concerns for AI startups and companies in general is manpower cost, I think, for many. And Korean government has been very supportive to back up some part of it. And I was wondering if UK also has that part, the kind of subsidy program as well. Thank you.
Any comment? Oh, Chris, you put your hand up.
Can I
sure.
have a go at answering that question? So, Neil, yes, absolutely. That's a real concern in the UK for companies. But there are lots of mechanisms to allow you to build your team at relatively low cost. One of the primary routes for companies is through something called the Apprenticeship Program. The Apprenticeship Program used to be for people who were not that experienced, who hadn't necessarily been to university, that a company would train themselves. But these days, there are 5 separate levels of apprenticeship, and the top level is equivalent to a master's level program. So you can bring these individuals into your company, and the very attractive point is that it's very strongly subsidized by government, up to around 80 or 90% of the cost. All you have to do is to agree to train them. So if you're trying to get people that you can train yourself, that's one route. However, if you want to access talent in AI, there are lots of other routes. So there is something called the Knowledge Transfer Partnership, which allows companies to work with a university and to have somebody who is typically at a master's level, could be at PhD level, but the cost is subsidized by Innovate UK, and perhaps Trieste might want to say a bit more about that. And this allows you to develop a relationship with the university, but also have that person come and spend time with you. So those are two mechanisms, but also there are other routes where you can have interns who come from a university who've got the relevant experience. So there are UK programs to help internships, but there are also international programs, such as the one organized by the British Council, which is called ISD, where you can bring in students with the right kind of experience to work with you for a period of time. So those are 3 or 4 different examples, but depending on what kind of skill you want to bring in, there's lots of help. And the final point to say, in AI specifically, the UK has supported a number of conversion courses, so helping individuals who have got degrees perhaps in other areas, so social science or biological sciences, who now want to train to have a master's in AI. And sorry, the last thing I was going to mention, there is also another way to access talent through a program which is called the Centers for Doctoral Training, which I had in the slide. In that case, you can work with the university and that individual can come and work for you essentially at very low cost for a period of 6 months on a project of your choice. So this is probably a discussion we should have in at a separate moment with a bit more detail and a bit more time to discuss, but there to give you a flavor of some of the programs that are available.
Thank you so much. I can't, I mean, like, it's amazing like, that you could recall like all of that, like on the top of your head. Thank you so much.
No, I'm very, very happy, Neil and Ben, to have a separate follow-up call to just talk about that topic and anything else that you're interested in about the UK, probably with Xi at a later point.
Yeah, can I just add on one more point? Yeah, I think it's a general kind of perception that labor cost is very high in the UK, but in fact, and when you really kind of do the analysis, it doesn't appear to be that's the whole picture. So within the IT, we do help the companies to produce some salary, for example, the labor cost kind of analysis, and also give you a picture of different regions across the countries, because there is a significant difference between, for example, London against the other part of the UK. So so if you just kind of focus on one specific area, probably it appears if the London Southeast tend to be slightly higher, then the rest of the country may have some kind of slightly kind of cost-effective situation. So like Chris mentioned, we've be happy just to look at your case and kind of give you some more detailed specific advice. Yeah, we do have the data to support our investors.
Thank you so much.
네, 혹시 또 다른 질문해 주실 분 계실까요? 자유롭게 손 드시면은 제가 호명해서 질문하실 수 있도록 도와드리겠습니다. 네, 또 질문 자유롭게 해주시면 네. 먼저 그러면은 저희
클리카 혹시 그 후속 질문이실까요?
Sorry for.
Yeah, unrelated a bit. So I'm Ben. We're really pushing the boundaries with technology and compression at Clika for tiny machine learning, and I'm curious how would a collaboration would be with university for research and development. How would that work?
Yeah, like just to add on, like would it be like we would research like adequate like right university and researcher like that we find like great fit, or we explain our business model, like what we do and what we're passionate like on like researching, and then you guys like help us like finding the right fit. I mean, I guess it could also like work in both ways.
Thank you.
Maybe I can answer this question to start with, and then Trias, I'm sure, will like to say something as well about how Innovate UK helps. So as I kind of covered a little bit, there are different routes to work with universities on R&D. So essentially there are 3 different levels. If you're looking to do longer term R&D, So you want to support a PhD with a university, or you want to partner on a PhD type collaboration. That is usually funded by the research councils, which are part of UKRI, as is Innovate UK, is part of UKRI. So that's one mechanism. Then the closer to market technology development, which still can involve a university, is exactly what Trias was describing in terms of the Innovate UK collaborations. But in terms of finding the right university and getting an understanding of how you approach a university, that's certainly a discussion that we're happy to have. As I highlighted in the slides, there are 16 separate centers for doctoral training, but that's not all of the universities that specialize in AI. So depending on the theme that you're interested in, so there are some that will focus more on machine learning, others that are focused on natural language processing, others are focused on computer vision, for instance. We can help you identify the right universities. And there's also another group that could be really helpful here for you, which is called the Knowledge Transfer Network. And this is a community that helps companies and universities to identify partners. And the Knowledge Transfer Network is a large organization that focuses on different sectors, but there is a key area on AI and robotics. But I'm going to hand it over to Trias because I'm sure he's got a lot more detail to share with you.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I think Chris very elegantly described the different ways you could get support from universities. I would like to emphasize a couple of points. The KTP, which is the Knowledge Transfer Partnership that Chris also mentioned a bit earlier, is probably a really good way for you to be able to acquire specific academic level cutting edge knowledge coming through the university and apply this into your own business. So this works really well. And what happens is you can get funding, subsidized funding for this engagement, and you have a dedicated professor or academic at the university to supervise the work done by a researcher that then is placed within your company. And that's a great way to translate academic research into business-led innovation. This is also a great way to accelerate adoption of AI into different areas. But of course, this does not have to be within AI. It could be, for example, advanced materials. It could be any area where you're interested to try to get these cutting edge research knowledge and translate this into your business. Also, there are smaller funding availability. They're called innovation vouchers that sometimes are available at different universities, and that allow you to have an early stage consultation with an area of expertise at the university. These are available for different universities throughout the country, from Edinburgh in Scotland down to London, Oxford, and then Cambridge. And also there are follow-up innovation vouchers after you have the first engagement, if you wish to explore further this collaboration, which in the future, for example, could lead to the creation of a KTP. Now, another important instrument is the collaborative R&D, which is a type of a grant that Innovate UK is providing, that has to be led by a business, by an SME or a large organization. What is also possible is to have an academic partner in these collaborative R&D projects. So as well as the leading startup or SME, could be you. You also have an academic partner which is contributing to the development of the project. And this is a different way. Again, we can translate, if you like, some of the academic knowledge into the business-led innovation.
Awesome. Thank you.
I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.
It helped a lot.
그리고 누지 대표님 아까 손 드셨는데 질문 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 편한 언어로 해주시면 될 것 같아서 편하게 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
방금 말씀하셨던 질문이랑 똑같아가지고 안 해도 될 것 같습니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 혹시 또 다른 질문 있으실까요? 저희가 사전에 질문을 좀 받아봤는데 네. 혹시 프로메디우스 대표님 먼저 질문하실 수 있으실까요? 네, 그 다음에 저희가 데이터비 대표님 질문 받아보도록 하겠습니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 저희는 의료 인공지능 스타트업입니다. 저 패널 여러분들께서 생각하시는 영국의 의료의 가장 큰 문제점이 어떤 것인지 궁금하고요. 그리고 영국에서 의료 분야의 인공지능으로 해결하고 있는 그런 케이스들이 있는지도 궁금합니다.
Trias, why don't you go ahead first?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So it's not probably a direct answer to your question, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the current state of adoption of AI into this sector. I think what you probably find, because of the complex regulatory environment in healthcare and the adoption of technologies, I mean, it could be AI, it could also be robotics. I think it's we have a lot of deployment of early stage of pilot programs for AI in healthcare, but you will find that there is a small delay in getting those AI technologies to be deployed into healthcare. And one of the reasons for this is because there is a process where those products need to be tested and verified, but also the regulatory framework that is required to be able to adopt those technologies in healthcare as being considered and developed. However, I would like to mention that this has been recognized as a priority by the UK government. So there has been, I think recently there's been dedicated funding of more than 100 million for development of AI technologies and absorption of those technologies into healthcare. So just my key message then is just to highlight that it is important to take into account the regulatory environment in terms of adopting your technology into the healthcare.
So just to add to what Trias has said, I think when we look at digital technologies in healthcare, there are a number of sources of information that might be helpful. So, for instance, there is a key accelerator in London, which is called Digital Health London, and they published in partnership with DIT last year a list of the top 100 digital healthcare companies in the UK. So you'll get some examples of how digital technologies have been applied to healthcare from small companies, and some of those will be focused on artificial intelligence. AI has often been used where a smaller company has been supplying a technology solution for things like computer vision in particular, so understanding the appearance of a tumor or some other artifact which is linked directly to disease. Also, they've been used in drug discovery. So there are a number of UK-based AI companies that are working in that area. So looking for unexpected relationships between drug classes and faster routes to evaluation. But if you take a step back from that and look at the UK as a whole from a AI for healthcare point of view, the National Health Service is organized in a number of ways that are supporting AI. So we have a group which was called NHSX, which was about looking at applying technology to healthcare, and they had set up and it was a £250 million investment to create a national healthcare AI laboratory or research center. And so there is clear need and interest to have technologies that come from startup companies in healthcare. And I would say the last point is that the National Health Service also has a group which is called NHS Digital, which is looking at the application of digital technologies. There are a number of catapults and innovation centers, as I mentioned in the presentation, that focus on technology for healthcare. There are programs in the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund which look at the application of technology for the detection of disease. So again, computer vision and AI has a big role to play there. And finally, there is a series of Nhs Innovation Centers and groups that help companies to interact with healthcare-focused R&D groups in universities in particular, but also in hospitals to develop new technologies. So again, there's a whole variety of different mechanisms, and very happy to talk to you in a separate call about that, and perhaps to introduce you to our healthcare team, who are very engaged with all of those communities.
Thank you for your answer.
네, 이어서 데이터비 대표님 질문 부탁드립니다.
Hi, thank you for your lectures. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
네, 잘 들립니다.
Yeah, so my question is that, so our main target customers are students and professionals working in UK or US, all those English-speaking countries. So I'm wondering how big is the population, how big the population of non-native English speakers working or studying in the United Kingdom. So I think that's kind of a market size question. And my second question is on the different side of the, on the different angle, our another target B2B customers are call center outsourcing companies, which would like to take advantage of low-cost labor outside of UK, such as Philippines or India. So I'm wondering whether there are many call center outsourcing companies residing in the United Kingdom, which we can initiate some kind of partnership with.
Maybe I can start, and G might have some further comments to make. So first of all, in terms of the non-native English speakers studying at universities and colleges, that's quite a high percentage. I don't have the statistics to hand, but we do know that across the 140 or so universities in the UK, many of them take significant numbers of overseas students. And therefore, I think you would see high demand for this kind of service. And we can connect you to organizations like Universities UK, which is the organization that represents the UK's university sector. But also there are key trade shows that might be relevant for you if you're trying to target that essentially natural language processing for the university and education sector. The key trade show is called BET, which is the British Education Technology Show, and they cover a lot of different things, but the use of AI in education training, of which learning English is part of that environment, that would be the right kind of trade show, I think, to showcase what you do. Similarly, in call centers is a huge industry in the UK because all of those key retailers and providers of utilities, they all have and banks and financial services, professional services, they all have a need to operate call centers. Many of them have had call centers in areas in countries like India or the Philippines or elsewhere, a little bit in Eastern and Central Europe too. But there has been, I suppose, an increased tendency to move away from some of those and to bring some of that back to the UK. And this is where artificial intelligence really becomes important, because if you can have a call center that has some artificial intelligence being used to enhance the experience for the customer and to help the customer get their solution or their answer very quickly, then that's very attractive. So I think there is interest in that area. there are both trade shows and associations that focus on this area. And in particular, I think there's, I forget the exact name of the show, but it runs, I think, in the first part of the year. I will find out the details and pass that on to you. But it focuses very much on that call center industry and technologies to enable call centers. So there's a lot of things I think to look at in the UK. But G might have some further comments, because I think we've talked to companies in similar spaces in the past.
Yeah, for both of your questions, I think, and we can definitely help you to look at the specific data. For example, the student and what kind of percentage of foreign student and how many foreign language being spoken in the UK. Yeah, we do. We can probably pull up some relevant data, specific data. So if please get in touch with teams in Seoul or myself and directly, and to write specific what's your question, so we can see how much data we can pull up for you. Same for the call center kind of industries. So if you want to understand a bit more about the subsectors, we're happy to provide some further information, identify the market size and the trends, and also identify some key organizations and key trade kind of bodies and events, etc., as Chris mentioned, so we can tailor make that analysis and for you. So please get in touch.
Thank you.
네, 그리고 혹시 다른 또 질문 있으실까요? 편하게 질문 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
네, 클리카 마이크 켜시고 질문 주시면 됩니다.
Hello, sorry again. I think this is a question that everyone wants to know about. I have a more specific question to Sir Andrew Rose, if you don't mind. So you explained about various ways that you back up startup, and very helpful and very interesting for initial stage, because we kind of need steroids from experts that can make sure that we're going into right path. And I was curious as if there is any set valuation for minimum or maximum amount of investment set, such as Y Combinator, 120,000 US dollar for 7% of safe cap. I mean, it's relatively lower, but everyone wants to apply for YC because we know of the leverage that it can bring, and I think it'll be the same for Fortunis, considering all those benefits that you bring. So I was wondering if there's also conditions and again minimum amount. Thank you.
Sure, thanks for that. I think the honest answer is, if I understand the question correctly, is in terms of equity versus investment, it's kind of how long's a piece of string. It will vary from investee to investee. I'm sorry to sort of give you an answer that avoids the issue, but it does vary. It really does. In the case of Fortunis, we will be very interested in getting large amounts of equity in some of the smaller startups if they warrant a particularly large engagement from us. Others, it's very light touch because perhaps they need less money and they're more advanced. So it does vary. And there's no hard and fast sort of balance. But what I would encourage you to do is have a little canter around the website that we've got, and see if some of the figures that are there resonate with you. And the bottom line is if there is an engagement and a sort of a potential for partnership, everything is on the table. We'll have that discussion, and if we can find a meaningful middle ground that both parties are happy with, then we've got progress. So I'm sorry to sort of slightly avoid the answer.
No, not at all.
It's a pretty vague and nebulous area, VC, as you can probably gather, particularly if you go left on the timeline and start moving into acceleration, because they're all so different. All of you on the call are completely different, which kind of makes it fun, right? But it's in terms of who invests what and with what equity, it really does vary a huge amount.
Thank you so much.
네, 혹시 그러면 또 다른 질문 있으실까요? 네, 누기 대표님.
예, 안녕하세요. 아까 잠깐 말씀드렸지만 저희는 이제 의자에서 바른 자세를 만들 수 있는 그런 특수 기술과 함께 의식하지 않고도 이제 편안하게 앉을 수 있도록 사람들에게 앱을 통해서 자세 교정을 하려고 합니다. 그러다 보니까 저희는 이제 일반 알고리즘으로 이제 시도를 했던 일반 기업들과는 다르게 AI를 탑재해가지고 사람들이 쉽게 분석하기 어려운 그런 다양한 자세들까지 저희가 알아내고 맞춤별 컨설팅을 하고자 하는데요. 이게 지금 국내에서는 조금 이제 AI에 대해서 반감을 갖고 있는 이유 중에 하나가 AI가 잘못 이제 자세에 대해서 측정하고 알려주게 되면 오히려 이제 다칠 수 있지 않겠냐라는 것 때문에 그런 부분에 있어서는 사람의 역할이 이제 100% 들어가야 되는 게 맞다고 이제 좀 보고 있습니다. 그러나 이제 해외에서는 의외로 또 이제 AI의 개입이 좀 많이 좀 긍정적으로 보고 있고 또 저희가 한국 시장에서 보는 것과 좀 많이 다르다고 들었는데 아까 말씀하신 것처럼 이제 AI 산업이 세계적으로는 3위이고 또 헬스케어 시장 같은 경우는 영국에서는 3위인 걸로 알고 있습니다. 그만큼 이런 다양한 분야에서 더 적극적으로 이런 의료라든가 헬스케어들이 되게 많이 발전되어 있는 나라인데 그 영국 시장에서 바라보는 AI 시스템과 이렇게 의료기기로 저희가 진입을 하게 될 때에 예상되는 그 고객들의 반응들이 좀 궁금합니다.
Chris, you put your hand up. Please share your answers.
Yeah. Thanks. It's a really good question, and I think two observations I would make. Firstly, I go back to what I mentioned earlier when we were talking to Prometheus. There is this list of top 100 digital healthcare companies, which gives you a flavor of how technology is being adopted into the healthcare sector. I think also there is more willingness and more acceptance of AI in healthcare. I think there have been some surveys that have been done in the past which have said, would you prefer to wait longer to see a general practitioner, so to see a doctor, or would you be happy to talk to an AI intermediary that would at least begin to triage, to sort your request? And a lot of people are happy with that AI approach. When it comes to your specific area of interest, I think actually you're in a good place, because there's a very strong emphasis on what we would call social care. So it's helping individuals in the home to live independently, to have technology-based aids and support that will help them to live comfortably. There is a program, again, in the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund that Trias and I talked about earlier, which focuses on healthy aging. So for older people in particular, where posture, mobility may be a problem, that's one route. But there's also a trade association which is called TSA, which is around technology-enabled care. So this is a group that supports technology companies to find, I think, partners and routes to market for where they have technology that is going to be useful in either in the home environment or more generally where technology can make a difference in terms of social care. So I think there are a number of different routes, and all of the things that we talked about earlier in terms of NHS AI Lab, the innovation network within the NHS Digital, all of those are also relevant, I think, to you. But because you're focused much more on not treating illness per se, but providing advice and guidance about good posture and supporting people to live independently and to be more comfortable, then I think there are additional opportunities to collaborate and partner in the UK as well. I think G might also have some comments as well, and Trias.
Yeah, I can see there are a lot of questions and for the health sectors and healthcare sectors in the UK. So I will share a guide later on after this event. We have a simple kind of a guide on how to engage with NHS, how to kind of potentially selling your product or service to NHS. What's the kind of a platform available for the companies and investors who want to kind of get involved. So there is a kind of the information there might be a good starting point for you to explore how to get into that kind of a business community. I will share that one with the team and then they will distribute to you for you right afterwards.
Yeah, and just wanted to have a small contribution to this question as well. Just wanted to say that there is a big difference if your device or solution is considered to be a medical device or whether that is towards contribution for the well-being. That will have a very big impact in how fast it can be adopted in the UK, and all to do with regulation. But also wanted to say that Innovate UK, we currently have a program where we're doing exactly this. We're setting up a framework to enable digital companies with digital technologies to get the advice they need to understand and negotiate that regulatory framework in the UK to get the medical related product into the market.
네, 감사합니다. 혹시 또 다른 질문 있으실까요? 네, 누기지 대표님.
예, 감사합니다. 한 가지만 더 여쭤보고 싶은 게 있습니다. 아까 방금 말씀해주신 것처럼 저희는 처음에 이제 헬스케어 체어로 나갔다가 추후에 이제 디지털 치료제 서비스를 진행할 거기 때문에 의자 같은 경우도 이제 의료기기 라인도 만들려고 하고 있습니다. 물론 이거 제품들은 모두 다 이제 집에서 사용할 수 있어서 의사들을 클리닉 가지 않고도 쉽게 만날 수 있게 하는 게 이제 가장 목적이고요. 저희 같은 경우는 이제 센서들을 의자에 탑재해가지고 이제 데이터를 분석하고 또 헬스케어 관련돼서 저희가 의료 분야 쪽으로 이제 분석을 해야 되는데, 사실 한국에서 뭐 데이터 애널리시스 같은 경우는 대부분 이제 마케팅 쪽에 특화가 되어 있습니다. 그래서 지금 계속 찾고 있을 때 이제 의료 부분 쪽에서 분석할 수 있는 부분들이 많지 않은데, 아까 이야기를 계속 들어보니까 좀 기관이라든가 이제 대학교 같은 다양한 곳에서 그런 랩들이 많다고 들었습니다. 그러면 이런 곳들을 저희가 좀 쉽게 찾거나 또 접근할 수 있는 그런 사이트가 있는지, 아니면 그런 아까 말씀하셨던 정부 과제 같은 것들도 어디서 저희가 적극적으로 찾아볼 수 있을지 좀 알려주시면 감사할 것 같습니다.
So I think there is some of that information that's available. So for instance, that trade association that I mentioned, that will know a lot of what is going on in the industry. So they cover a lot of different areas, but it's all around technology to enable care in the home. Then there is another one of those catapults that I mentioned, which is called the Connected Places Catapult. And they focus on smart cities and transportation, but they have a program that I think launched last year, which is focusing on independent living and technology to enable independent living. So technology to support people in the home. So I think they would also be a good source of information. And beyond that, our healthcare team So the equivalent group that G works in, but for healthcare, may also have some further data. G, do you want to say something about that and how that kind of works?
Yeah, definitely, and there are lots of data available, and it really depends on how exactly what you want and how you want to kind of, for example, you want to approach the universities. Yeah, we can guide you through and what's the kind of a best direction. So being specific about what exactly you want to get out, what kind of data, and what kind of channel you want, and then we can have a further discussion. I think we need to understand a bit more about your marketing strategy, your business case, and then we'll be able to kind of advise and how to approach the potential partners and the organizations.
네, 혹시 저희가 시간 관계상 저희가 두 개 질문만 더 받도록 추가적으로 더 받도록 하겠습니다. 혹시 저희 질문 안 해주신 그 기업분들 중에서 질문해 주실 수 있는 게 있으신지 아니면 관련해서 좀 궁금하신 점이 있으시면 편하게 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다. 혹시 없으실까요?
네, 없으시면 그 혹시 질문 더 있는 기업분들도 계실까요?
만약에 뭐 지금 저희가 또 어차피 아까 저희 연사분들이 말씀해 주셨던 것처럼 지금 당장에 추가 질문이 없으시더라도 혹시 향후에 또 행사 이후에 관련해서 궁금한 점이 있으시면은 저에게 연락해 주시면 저희가 관련해서 연사분들 연결시켜 드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 네, 그래서 그럼 저희는 시간 관계상 저희가 이제 Q&A 세션은 여기서 마무리 짓도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 연사해 주신 닥터 크리스 무어 연사님, 지동 연사님, 그리고 Sir Andrew 연사님, Sam Deeb 연사님, Trias Kikopoulous 연사님 다시 한번 오늘 시간 내주셔서 감사합니다.
네, 그럼 이것으로 오늘 세션을 여러분의 적극적인 참여 속에 마무리해 보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 행사는 이후에 이제 저희가 유튜브에 업로드할 예정이고요. 디캠프 채널과 더의 AI 유튜브 채널에서 전체 영상 다시 확인하실 수 있습니다. 또한 오늘 참가하신 참가 기업분들 대상으로 오늘 여기 참석하신 연사분들 혹은 이제 오늘 질문에서 이제 문의하셨던 현지 네트워크 등 이제 후속 지원도 저희가 준비하고 있으니까요. 행사 이후에 안내 드리는 메일 참고하셔서 필요하신 지원들 이어서 잘 받으셨으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 긴 시간 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다. 저희 이제 영국 대사관과 디캠프 모두 앞으로도 한국 기업분들의 영국 진출 발판 마련과 사업 확장을 위해서 계속해서 지원 잘 이어나가도록 하겠습니다. 네, 오늘 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you for your time. Yeah, I know it's very early in the morning in the UK. Thank you for taking the time to deliver all the useful information to the Korean companies. I'm looking forward to seeing you and speaking to you soon. Bye all.
Thanks very much. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do you see the world? The UK's unique melting pot of diverse minds always brings a fresh perspective. And when we combine our view together with yours, we can all see things differently. Do you see gravity? Would you defy it?
And the flying leap from me.
Do you see a party or proud diversity? Do you see a place as old as time or a breakthrough that could save your life? We see power in the weather. We see how entertainment can change the world.
It's wonderful.
We see love and embrace it. We see a challenge and face it. We see the chance to go further together. To connect, collaborate, educate, celebrate, and make anything happen. So let's open our minds, invite the unexpected in, and answer the big questions together. Join us and see things differently.
브렉시트 때문에 두려워만 하고 갈 생각도 안 했는데요. 가보니 너무나 많은 기회가 오히려 오픈되어져 있는 마인드로 기다리고 있더라.
스타트업의 친화적인 정책을 운영하고 있기 때문에 국적과 관계없이 국가 프로젝트나 보조금 지원 자격을 부여하고 있는데
법 제도적으로 이렇게 뒷받침되어 있지 않으면 불가능한 거거든요. 그 분야에서도 많은 이렇게 지원과 기회가 있구나.
영국은 유럽 마켓의 리더로 널리 알려져 있는 곳인데 우수한 AI 전문 인력을 확보하기가 용이했고 방대한 글로벌 네트워크를 활용해서 독일, 프랑스 등의 유럽 주요 국가로 진출할 수 있는 기회 또한 많을 것으로 판단했습니다.
영국에서 미팅을 하면 당연히 영국 시장 얘기를 하는데요. 바로 이어서 유럽, 그 다음에 영어를 쓰는 모든 국가, 아시아, 중동, 심지어 남아메리카까지 고려한 구조를 설계하는 거예요. 모든 미팅에서. 거기서 완전히 다른 걸 느꼈죠. 이게 글로벌 비즈니스를 할 수 있는 퀴구나 이렇게 생각합니다.
DIT로부터 시장 진출을 적극적으로 지원받고 있습니다.
A부터 Z까지 모든 지원을 받았어요.
매우 퀄리티 높은 세밀한 시장 조사 보고서와 많은 도움이 되었습니다.
DIT 내부의 전문가를 통해서 영국 시장 진출에 대한 전반적인 조언을 받을 수 있었고
영국의 로열 패밀리, 정치인,
다양한 포텐셜 파트너와 투자사와의 네트워킹이 가능했고
계속 파트너십 연결, 또 다른 정부 프로그램의 연결, 세무적인 파트너십 연결을 계속 이어서 짧은 기간 동안에 빨리 끝낼 수 있게 너무나 많은 도움이 됩니다. 직접 들어가 안에 있으면 그 기회가 빨리 그것도 아주 멀지 않은 근처에서 보이더라. 영국이 그런 나라였습니다.